Our Friday Feelz artist Darcy Nelson has a few new singles lined up ready to go ahead of her anticipated January album release date. And according to Darcy, the new album, Music is Medicine, will be the heart and center journey. Isn't that right, Darcy?
Yes.
Okay, so Music is Medicine.
Yeah.
That's so interesting.
Thanks for saying that. Yeah, I feel like it's taken me a while of just learning how to share the songs that I've vulnerably written and to realize that there's so much medicine in them. Originally, I was kind of writing from a place of pain and then started just feeling so much catharsis from that and really beginning to understand the power of my thoughts and how I could channel that into mantras and affirmations through my music and have it be a healing thing on the side of uplift and positivity.
You're always, mantras are true because I go to yoga often. They always say like, hey, think of a mantra and like have it guide you through your session.
Yes.
And sometimes you come out feeling even better after you've succeeded doing the mantra over and over again. And that's kind of nice to be able to add that into music.
Yeah, because oftentimes I'll be singing along to a pop song and like loving it, and then I'm listening to what I'm singing and it's not something that I really want to agree with in my life at a cellular level or just the direction of my life. So I feel like that's another piece of just understanding that, like the power of words, and even in our music, what we listen to for entertainment is important.
So you started music after leaving a marketing role, which is kind of an interesting take. What motivated you to make the jump?
Honestly, it was accidental, and I think it was me just like following my path, because I quit my job in Tacoma thinking that I would likely get another job in marketing, and when those two offers didn't pan out, I ended up busking. And again, that was the process of me like going through these long sets where no one's there to listen to you, and it would oftentimes be the songs that I was most kind of tender about, the ones I was most ashamed to have heard, were the ones that captured people's attention and that they noticed. And that was again some of the medicine that I started to kind of center in on music. And so just that first summer of like busking and feeding myself with tips, I was like, man, imagine if I was good. Like I could do even more. So I've just been on the level of just journeying up and learning more and continuing to find spaces where I get to share in retreats and women's circles. So it's a lot of fun.
Do you have any early experiences that kind of helped you guide you to the music?
Well, I grew up singing in the church, and so for me that was beautiful because it was more of an experience facilitated between a bunch of people rather than a performance. And I love still like bringing that to what I do in even like venues. You know, I got to play at the Underground Music Showcase, and I've been at Lair and Relance recently, and I love to have it feel as much of an experience as possible. And yeah, I would say that would just be my early experiences, was like sharing that in community in a really safe space.
Okay, so I think people want to know what they're going to be able to expect on your new album, Music is Medicine.
Ooh, a little journey through things. I'm starting.
Journey.
Yes, yes. I'm starting with an experimental spoken word piece about panther medicine. So Native American traditions honor different animals that we can learn from. And I had this wild dream about a panther that was just kind of an invitation to wildness, and I've turned that into a spoken word piece with a bunch of like layered harmonies, and then it goes into songs about being a brave dreamer, gratitude, life is good, and it ends with a lullaby, because sometimes I struggle with insomnia as an adult. You know, we're just so active, we're always doing a million things, and sometimes we lay in bed and we think about the things we didn't get done or the things we want to do tomorrow.
Your brain can't shut off.
Exactly. So I've picked a mantra for myself as a lullaby to help myself kind of tune down for the night and wind down and find sleep. So begins with a dream and ends with a lullaby.
Do you have a favorite track?
I think Brave Dreamers is my favorite track so far. We were able to pull out more of a rootsy kind of there's electronic influences in it, maybe even too. It's a little different than some of the other folk music I've recorded. So
you mentioned earlier that you've been performing in kind of those intimate settings. Talk to me a little bit about how that's kind of transformed your ability to perform in front of concert halls and things like that.
I love this idea of like picking a friendly face or connecting with people. And so recently I was on my very first mini tour in Texas, and that first show didn't quite work out the way we thought it would. There were not a lot of folks in the audience, but I was able to pick the few folks that were having a great time and just focus in on that and just imagine facilitating that space. And so I think again, it still comes down to the connection piece, even when I'm in a larger space, of zoning in on like the one or two people that are giving me great energy, that seem like they're enjoying it, and just thinking about hoping that they take away something beautiful. And even even at that performance, someone came up to me at the end and said, you know, because you've been vulnerable and went first with all of your storytelling, he's like, I have to let you know that he was in my songs about new beginnings were really resonating with him, because his wife of like 46 years had just passed, and this was one of the first things he'd gone out and done by himself. I know,
oh my
right?
gosh.
It just felt beautiful to again just feel like I was encouraging him on his little next steps of life, in new chapters and new beginnings.
All right, well, we're not quite done with Darcy yet. I'm excited to learn a little bit more. You're going to play another song for us. Just kind of going into music medicine and your story behind it, how you got started. It's so interesting, and I'm excited to see where you end up going on further off in your music career.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to chat with you. This has been really fun today.
So great. Okay, guys, so to see more about Darcy, you can look at her website, which is darcynelson.com. She is going to be performing another song, so if you want to listen, don't go anywhere.